Have you ever looked at your to-do list and felt like it was quietly judging you? There it is, a long list of tasks, some tiny, some annoying, some important, and one task that sits there like a giant emotional boulder. You know the one, the task you keep avoiding, the task that would actually move your life forward, the task that makes everything else feel easier once it is finally done. So what do? You check email, you organize your desk, you reply to a message, you watch one productive video about productivity, you convince yourself you are warming up. But deep down, you know the truth. You are not tired because you have too much to do. You are tired because the most important thing is still waiting. That is the heart of Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. This book is a simple, direct, practical guide to overcoming procrastination, choosing your most important task, and getting it done before your day gets stolen by small distractions. The title comes from a famous idea often connected to Mark Twain. If the first thing you do in the morning is eat a live frog, you can go through the rest of the day knowing the worst is already behind you. Brian Tracy uses the frog as a metaphor. Your frog is your biggest, most important, most uncomfortable task, the one you are most likely to procrastinate on, but also the one that can create the biggest positive impact on your life. And the main message of the book is beautifully simple. If you want to stop procrastinating, eat your frog first, not later, not after checking notifications, not after doing 10 tiny tasks to build momentum. First, because once you handle the hardest, most meaningful task, your whole day changes. You feel lighter, you feel stronger, you feel in control. The Lazy Capybara translation: do the ugly important thing before the small shiny things start dancing around your brain. The real problem: too many options, too little focus. Brian Tracy begins with a truth that feels even more relevant today. We are drowning in options. There are more opportunities than ever before. More tools, more apps, more courses, more ideas, more side hustles, more content, more possible directions for your life. This sounds exciting, but it also creates a problem. When everything is possible, choosing becomes hard. And when choosing becomes hard, we often do one of two things. We procrastinate because we do not know where to start. Or we try to do everything and become overwhelmed. Both paths lead to the same place: frustration. New tasks keep arriving, emails keep coming, messages keep buzzing, responsibilities keep multiplying, and no matter how much you do, you still feel behind. That is why Tracy argues that one of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to choose your most important task at any moment, start it, and finish it well. Not the easiest task, not the loudest task, not the task that gives you the quickest little dopamine snack. The most important task. This is where success begins, because productivity is not about doing more things. Productivity is about doing the right things. The 2 rules of frog eating. Brian Tracy gives 2 simple rules for dealing with frogs. Rule 1. If you have to eat 2 frogs, eat the ugliest one first. In real life, this means, if you have 2 important tasks, start with the bigger, harder, more valuable one. Most people do the opposite. They start with easy tasks because easy tasks feel good. They give a quick sense of progress. You check something off. You feel temporarily productive, but small progress on low-value tasks can become a trap. You can spend the whole day clearing minor things and still avoid the one task that actually matters. That is fake productivity. It looks busy, it feels safe, but it does not move your life forward. The ugly frog is usually the task with the highest consequence. The sales call, the proposal, the workout, the writing session, the difficult conversation, the study block, the strategic decision, the project you keep delaying because it feels too big. That is the frog. Eat it first. Rule 2. If you have to eat a live frog, do not sit and stare at it for very long. This means, do not overthink your important task. The longer you stare at it, the larger and uglier it becomes in your imagination. You start negotiating with yourself. I'll do it after coffee. I'll do it after checking messages. I'll do it when I feel more ready. I'll just research a little more first. And suddenly, the frog has built a small apartment in your mind. The solution is action. Start before your excuses get organized. You do not need to feel ready. You need to begin. Procrastination is a habit. So is action. One of the most useful ideas in Eat That Frog is that productivity is not only a mindset, it is a habit. Procrastination is a habit of delaying important things. Action is a habit of starting important things, and habits can be trained. Brian Tracy says the habit of setting priorities, overcoming procrastination, and starting your most important task is a mental and physical skill. Like any skill, it improves through practice and repetition. This is good news. It means you are not permanently lazy. You are not broken. You are not doomed to be bad with time. You may simply have trained the habit of avoiding discomfort, and now you can train the opposite habit. Tracy gives 3 qualities for building any new habit. Decision. Choose clearly that you will develop the habit. Discipline. Practice it repeatedly, even when you do not feel like it. Determination. Keep going until it becomes part of who you are. At first, eating the frog feels difficult. Then it becomes familiar. Eventually, it becomes satisfying. This is where the magic happens. A productive habit can become a positive addiction. You start to enjoy the feeling of progress. You begin to crave the relief that comes from doing important work early. You stop needing motivation to begin. You become the kind of person who starts, very calm, very focused, slightly intimidating to your old procrastinating self. Lesson 1. Set the table. Before you can eat the frog, you need to know what the frog is. This begins with clarity. Brian Tracy says one of the worst uses of time is doing something very well that does not need to be done at all. That line is painful because it is true. You can be efficient at the wrong thing. You can be disciplined in the wrong direction. You can work hard and still not move forward. So the first step is to decide exactly what you want. Write down your goals, not vaguely, not I want to be successful, not I want to improve my life. Be specific. What do you want to achieve? By when? Why does it matter? What result are you actually aiming for? A goal that stays in your head is often foggy. A goal written on paper becomes clearer. It becomes something you can organize your actions around. So before attacking your day, set the table. Know what matters. Because if you do not define success, your day will be filled with other people's priorities. Lesson 2. Plan every day in advance. Tracy's next rule is simple. Plan your day before it begins. Every minute spent planning can save many minutes in execution. Why? Because planning reduces hesitation. When you wake up without a plan, your brain has to make decisions all day. What should I do first? What matters most? Should I answer this? Should I work on that? Should I delay this again? Decision fatigue quietly drains your energy. But when you plan in advance, you wake up with direction. Brian Tracy recommends using different lists. A master list for everything you may want to do someday. A monthly list for what you want to complete this month. A weekly list for the coming week. A daily list for tomorrow's specific actions. This sounds basic, but basic works. A list gets the chaos out of your head and onto the page, and once it is on the page, you can prioritize it. The Lazy Capybara rule. Do not let your brain be a messy storage room. Put the task somewhere. Then choose the frog. Lesson 3. Apply the 80-20 rule. One of the biggest ideas in the book is the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. It says that roughly 20% of your activities create 80% of your results. This is a life-changing idea if you take it seriously, because most tasks are not equal. Some tasks are worth 10 times more than others. One sales call may matter more than 50 small admin tasks. One workout may matter more than hours of health research. One focused writing block may matter more than a week of thinking about writing. One strategic decision may create more value than dozens of routine actions. The problem is, low-value tasks are often easier. They feel clear, they feel safe. They give quick rewards. High-value tasks usually require focus, courage, uncertainty, or effort. That is why they become frogs. So ask yourself, which 20% of my tasks create most of my results? Then protect those tasks fiercely. Lesson 4. Consider the consequences. How do you know which task is most important? Look at the consequences. A high-value task has serious positive consequences if you do it, and serious negative consequences if you avoid it. Low-value tasks do not change much either way. This is where long-term thinking becomes powerful. Ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like in 5 or 10 years? Then ask, what task today would move me toward that future? That task is probably a frog. Tracy's principle is clear. Do first things first, and second things not at all. This may sound extreme, but it is necessary. Because if you treat everything as important, nothing is important. Your future is shaped by the tasks you repeatedly choose not to avoid. Lesson 5. Practice creative procrastination. This is one of the smartest ideas in the book. You cannot do everything, so you must procrastinate on purpose. Most people procrastinate unconsciously. They delay important tasks and fill the time with minor tasks. High performers do the opposite. They deliberately procrastinate on low-value activities so they can focus on high-value work. This is called creative procrastination. It means you intentionally decide what not to do. Not every task deserves your time. Not every request deserves your yes. Not every opportunity fits your goals. Not every message needs an immediate response. You are already procrastinating on something. The question is, are you procrastinating on your dreams or on distractions? That one hurts a little, but it is useful. Lesson 6. Use the ABCDE method. Brian Tracy gives a practical system for prioritizing tasks, the ABCDE method. You write down your tasks, then label them. A tasks, very important. Serious consequences if not done. B tasks, important, but with milder consequences. C tasks, nice to do, but no serious consequences. D tasks, delegate if possible. E tasks, eliminate completely. If you have several A tasks, rank them. A1, A2, A3. Your A1 task is your ugliest frog. The rule is, do not work on a B task while an A task is unfinished. This is where many people sabotage themselves. They clean up small tasks to avoid the big one, then wonder why their important goals never move. The ABCDE method forces honesty. It helps you see the difference between activity and achievement. Lesson 7. Focus on key result areas. Every role has key result areas. These are the few things you must do well to succeed. For your job, business, studies, health, or creative project, ask, what results am I actually responsible for? Then ask, what one skill, if I improved it, would have the greatest positive impact on my life or work? That is where you should focus. Not all improvement is equal. Improving a key skill can multiply your results. If you are a creator, maybe it is writing better hooks. If you are in sales, maybe it is prospecting. If you are a student, maybe it is deep study. If you are building a business, maybe it is offer creation or distribution. Find the skill that unlocks everything else. Then work on it deliberately. Lesson 8. Use the law of 3. Tracy says that in most jobs, 3 activities account for most of your value, not 30. 3. This is powerful because it simplifies your life. Ask yourself, what are the 3 things I do that create most of my results? Once you identify them, organize your day around them. This also helps you create more balance. Because when you focus on the few things that truly matter at work, you waste less time on fake productivity. That gives you more time for family, health, rest, creativity, and actual living. Productivity is not about working endlessly. It is about finishing what matters so your life has room to breathe. Lazy Capybara approved. Lesson 9. Prepare before you begin. A lot of procrastination is caused by friction. You sit down to work, but you are missing a document. You need a login. You cannot find your notes. Your desk is chaotic. Your tools are not ready. Suddenly, starting feels harder. So Tracy says, prepare everything before you begin. Set up your workspace. Gather your materials. Open the right document. Close the wrong tabs. Remove distractions. Make the beginning easy. This matters because once you start, momentum builds. But if starting is messy, your brain looks for escape routes. A prepared workspace tells your mind, we are doing this now. Lesson 10. Take it one step at a time. Big tasks feel scary because we imagine the whole mountain at once. Write the entire book. Build the whole business. Lose all the weight. Finish the whole course. Fix the entire system. No wonder we avoid it. Tracy uses the image of crossing a desert by focusing only on the next marker. You do not need to see the whole journey. You need to reach the next point. So break big tasks into smaller steps. Write one page. Make one call. Record one section. Study one chapter. Clean one part. Send one proposal. Momentum loves small beginnings. A giant project becomes manageable when you turn it into the next visible action. Lesson 11. Upgrade your skills. Sometimes we procrastinate because the task is genuinely difficult, and sometimes it is difficult because we are underskilled. The better you become at a key skill, the easier and faster the work becomes. So if a task matters to your future, improve your ability to do it. Read. Practice. Take courses. Get feedback. Study people who are better than you. Skill reduces resistance. A beginner struggles with things that an expert does automatically. This is not a reason to feel bad. It is a reason to train. Your future becomes easier when your skills become stronger. Lesson 12. Leverage your special talents. You are not good at everything. Good. You are not supposed to be. Brian Tracy reminds us to focus on our special talents, the things we do well and enjoy doing. This is where your highest contribution often lives. Do not waste your life trying to become average at things that drain you if you could become excellent at things that energize you. Ask, what am I naturally good at? What do I enjoy learning about? Where do I create value more easily than most people? What kind of work makes me feel alive? Your frog should not always be random suffering. Ideally, your most important tasks should connect to your strengths and long-term goals. That is how productivity becomes meaningful. Lesson 13. Identify your constraints. Every goal has a bottleneck. Something is limiting your progress. It may be external, money, tools, people, market conditions, but often it is internal. Fear, lack of skill, poor habits, unclear priorities, weak discipline, low energy. Your job is to identify the constraint and attack it. Ask, what is holding me back the most right now? Then focus on solving that. Many people work harder around the bottleneck instead of fixing it. That creates exhaustion. But when you remove the main constraint, progress speeds up. Find the bottleneck. Eat that frog. Lesson 14. Put pressure on yourself. Most people work better with deadlines. But if no one gives you a deadline, create one. Tracy suggests imagining you have to leave town for a month and must finish your most important work before you go. This creates urgency. You can also set timers, public commitments, accountability check-ins, or personal deadlines. The point is not to create panic. The point is to stop letting important work float endlessly in someday. Pressure, used wisely, turns vague intention into action. Lesson 15. Manage your energy. Time matters. But energy matters too. You have certain times of day when you are sharper, more focused, and more creative. Protect those times for your frogs. Do not waste your best mental energy on shallow tasks. If your brain is strongest in the morning, do your most important work then. If you work better later, schedule accordingly. Also, rest matters. A tired brain procrastinates more easily. Sleep, movement, food, and recovery are not luxuries. They are productivity tools. Even the most ambitious capybara must occasionally lie down like a loaf and recharge. Lesson 16. Motivate yourself into action. Your inner voice matters. If you constantly tell yourself that everything is terrible, you drain your own energy before the work even begins. Tracy encourages optimism, not fake positivity, but solution-focused thinking. Instead of asking, why is this so hard? Ask, what can I do right now? What is the next step? What is the opportunity here? What can I learn from this? The way you talk to yourself shapes your willingness to act. Be your own coach, not your own bully. Lesson 17. Escape technological time. Sync's technology can help you work. It can also quietly eat your life. Phones, apps, notifications, social media, and endless browsing were supposed to save time. But for many people, they have become the main source of distraction. Brian Tracy's advice is direct. Control your technology, or it will control you. Turn off notifications. Create phone-free work blocks. Check email at specific times. Remove tempting apps during deep work. Make distraction harder to access. Your attention is one of your most valuable assets. Do not donate it to every glowing rectangle that asks nicely. Lesson 18. Slice and dice the task. When a task feels too big, slice it. Tracy gives 2 methods. The salami method means cutting the task into thin slices and doing one piece at a time. The Swiss cheese method means poking holes in the task by working on it for short bursts, like 10 minutes. Both methods help you start, and starting is everything. You do not need to finish the whole task immediately. You just need to break the resistance. Once you begin, the task usually feels less scary than it did in your imagination. Lesson 19. Create large chunks of time. Important work needs space. You cannot do deep work in tiny scattered fragments all day. So schedule appointments with yourself. 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. Treat these blocks like real meetings, because they are. They are meetings with your future. Use these chunks for your most important tasks. Protect them from interruptions. Let people know you are unavailable. Close the door. Put the phone away. Your frog deserves a proper plate. Lesson 20. Develop a sense of urgency. Successful people act. They do not wait forever for the perfect mood, perfect plan, perfect timing, or perfect confidence. They move. Brian Tracy calls this developing a sense of urgency. It means building the habit of starting quickly and moving steadily. When you see what needs to be done, begin. Not recklessly, not randomly, but with energy. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates more action. And suddenly, you are no longer the person who talks about doing things. You are the person who does them. Lesson 21. Single-handle every task. The final lesson is one of the most important. Stop multitasking. Multitasking feels productive, but it usually destroys focus. When you switch constantly between tasks, your attention gets fragmented. You lose depth. You make more mistakes. Everything takes longer. Tracy's solution is single-handling. Choose your most important task. Start it. Stay with it until it is complete. This is simple but difficult, because the modern world trains us to bounce. But high-value work requires staying. One task, one focus, one frog, until done. How to use this book. Today, here is a simple way to apply Eat That Frog immediately. Tonight, before you sleep, write down everything you need to do tomorrow. Then use the ABCDE method. Find your A1 task. That is your frog. Tomorrow morning, before checking your phone, before opening email, before letting other people's priorities invade your brain, start that task. Work on it for at least 30 to 90 minutes. Do not negotiate. Do not stare at it. Do not warm up with fake productivity. Just begin. And if the task feels too big, slice it smaller. One paragraph, one call, one page, one outline, one workout, one step. The goal is not to become perfect overnight. The goal is to train the identity of someone who starts with what matters. Final takeaways. Eat That Frog is not complicated. That is why it works. Brian Tracy's message is timeless. Your success depends less on how much you do and more on whether you consistently do the most important thing first. Your frog is the task that matters most. Your frog is the task you are avoiding. Your frog is the task with consequences. Your frog is the task that makes the rest of the day easier. Eat it first. Because every day gives you a choice. You can spend your best energy avoiding the hard thing, or you can spend your best energy becoming the kind of person who faces it. And here is the beautiful part. You do not need to change your entire life today. You just need to choose tomorrow's frog. Write it down. Prepare for it. Wake up. Start before your excuses get loud. Then do it again the next day. That is how discipline grows. Not through dramatic transformation, but through one important task completed before the noise takes over. So here is your challenge. Before you watch another video, before you open another tab, before you create another perfect productivity plan, ask yourself, what is my frog? And then, calmly, bravely, maybe with the emotional expression of a very wise lazy capybara, eat it.